Hello everyone, my name is Lasha and today I will be teaching you vocabulary lesson for advanced level. The topic for today's lesson is law and crime. First of all, I will discuss different types of crimes and we will learn the name of the crime and we will learn also the criminal, the person who commits this crime. Let's start. The first one that we see in the list is arson. Do you know what is arson, guys? Do you have any idea what is arson? Hi, Ozgenur and Melike. Arson is setting fire to a building, cars, or any other kind of property. The person who commits this crime is arsonist. Okay? The next word that I will teach you is assassination. Assassination is when person kills another famous person or public figure. So, killing a famous person or a public figure, this is assassination, and the person is assassin. Hi Murat and Polat. Next word is assault. Maybe you know the meaning of assault. Assault is attacking someone physically. Now let me give you an example. The criminal assaulted Beyoncé and assassinated her. Okay, so it means the person first attacked Beyoncé and then killed her. Because Beyoncé is a famous person, we will consider this crime as assassination. And as for arson, I remember 12 or 13 years ago, it happened in my hometown in Georgia. Government wanted to buy some houses to build governmental building and the people were against it. Some people were against it, some people wanted it, and then one of the person living there decided to set fire to the buildings. So then government would give them money, so this person committed arson. Okay, he was arsonist. As for blackmail, this is when somebody threatens another person to reveal her or his secrets, okay? Threatening a person to reveal his or her secrets. And asking money for it. Again, I will give you example from my country because I know the crimes about my country more than Turkey. 3 or 4 years ago, we had elections, governmental elections, and some people had videos, personal videos of the politicians, and the politicians were blackmailed, and the people asked them, if you don't give me money, I will show your videos to people, and these people were blackmailers. Guys, if you know any examples which happened in Turkey of arson, assassination, or blackmail or assault, please, you can write into our Facebook or YouTube channels as comments, and I will have a look and read them out. Bombing, okay, this is probably very popular and easy one. Everybody knows the meaning of bombing is when you set a bomb in the building or somewhere and the bomb explodes. The person is called bomber. So let me write explanation for you. Bribery is the noun and briber is the person who commits this crime. Bribery is when you give money to public employee, government employee, to get something from them. This crime, I think, is kind of popular in Turkey as well, and I have seen some briberies in your country and also in my country, of course. If you know someone in the government who works in the government, you can get all your documents done easily, for example, but if you don't know anyone, it takes a lot of time to get the things done. So this is also bribery, not just giving money, but also maybe by just knowing someone. This is also considered as a bribery. So giving money or granting favor to influence another person's decision. Like, for example, sometimes there are some projects, let's say, and there is a tender about it, auction about it, and a lot of companies compete in this tender, but then one company decides to give money to government employees, and this company wins the tender, so it is bribery, okay? Adam says bribery is always bribery. Yeah. Burglary. Probably you understand. Burglary is to break into a house in order to steal something. And the person is called burglar. To break into the house in order to steal something. This one is called bribery and the person is... Sorry, this one is called burglary and the person is burglar. I'm just checking Facebook, and as I see, our live streaming is not working very well on Facebook. There is no problem on YouTube as far as I see. Let me check the Facebook again. Child abuse. Abuse is treating someone in a bad way, emotionally, physically, or sexually. So child abuse is treating a child in a bad way, emotionally, physically, or sexually. The person is called child abuser. Emir, teacher, will you share the word list? Emir, we have tried to come up with the solution for it, and the IT department has promised me to share the word lists in description files of YouTube, but there was problem last week, so probably from this week the word list will be uploaded into the description of the videos on YouTube. Child abuse is, I think, one of the worst type of crime, and I don't want to talk about it a lot. I don't even want to give any example about it. Corruption. Corruption is behaving illegally or dishonestly, and especially those in power. Behaving illegally or dishonestly, especially those in power. So when the government does something which is not legal, this is corruption. And we say corrupted government, for example. Corruption we don't use for normal people. We only use for people who are in power. It can be political power. It can be also other kind of power. For example, the businessman also, we can say that it is corrupted business. But you cannot say about one person, normal person, that he is corrupted. We don't have a special word to describe a person or group or organization who does this crime, who commits this crime. The next thing is just crime, and I will not explain crime. Person is called criminal. Since the invention of internet, cybercrime has become one of the most famous and popular thing. Cybercrime is all kind of crimes done via internet, okay? Or computer systems. Illegal things done via using internet or computer systems. Internet or computer systems. The person who commits this crime is usually called hacker, and I explained the meaning of hack and hacker on my Wednesday's video because it was about technology. Next word that we will explain is domestic violence. Violence, probably you know, is behaving violently to someone. Domestic means home, at home. So the meaning of domestic violence is behaving violently inside the home. For example, if a husband hits the woman, this is domestic violence. Or maybe mother hits the babies, this is also domestic violence. This type of crime is usually the most difficult to investigate because this happens at home, inside the house, and people, outsiders, don't have a lot of information about this. Drunk driving. I think you don't have this crime in Turkey because everybody drives while they are drunk, and there is no law or rule in Turkey, I guess, about this one. A lot of my friends, they drive their car when they are drunk, and they say there is no problem, the police doesn't say anything, or they just say, okay, there will not be any police. But in other countries, it's serious and it's crime. Driving with too much alcohol in your blood. What else do we have next? Next one we have embezzlement. and the person who commits this crime is embezzler. Embezzlement is stealing large amounts of money that you are responsible for. So, for example, you work at a company and you are accountant, let's say. So accountant knows everything about company's financial situation, and the person is responsible for the money of the company. If the accountant steals money, this will be embezzlement, okay? Stealing large amounts of money that you are responsible for. And often it happens over a period of time. So sometimes it is not done suddenly and with one transaction, but little by little, they steal a lot of money, okay? This can be done, as I've said, by accountants, by financial managers, or maybe like you work at the government, so you are responsible for the government's money. If you steal this money, also it will be considered as embezzlement. Hi Sezgin. Next word is espionage, and the person who commits this crime is a spy. Probably you understand. It is spying to obtain political or military information. Political or military information. Let me give you an example from the famous movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They are both spies, so they are committing espionage. Next word that we have for today is forgery. Forgery is illegally copying documents to cheat people. Let me think about the example for this one. I remember at one of the companies where I worked in my past, there was this kind of action, forgery action done. The director of the company stole some money, so he committed embezzlement. Then, in order to make this money somehow legal, he made some fake documents saying that he gave this money as a loan to the company's employees. So he committed embezzlement and forgery at the same time. Let's see a question. I guess we have to live with all of this in the world. Yeah, all these things happen in the world. That's why I'm trying to teach. So next time we hear something about it, we can understand. Because you may see a lot of things on the news about crimes and criminal law. The next one is fraud. Fraud is getting money from people by cheating them. One of my friends had this kind of situation. Somebody called him on the phone and the person said she was calling from bank and asked my friend about the ID number, card information, and to accept some codes. So the person stole money from my friend's card. This was fraud, and the person cheated because she said she was calling from the bank. Of course, my friend was also stupid when he believed these kind of things. This is true, but the crime is called fraud, and the person is fraud or also we say sometimes fraudster. Any other comments? No, we just have hi from Kabir. Hi, Kabir. Next one is killing on purpose a large amount of people, especially of a particular group or area. Killing on purpose a large amount of people, especially from a particular group or area. Some of the famous genocides were, for example, during the Second World War period and before and after it. German leader Hitler, he did not like Jewish people from Israel, and he tried to kill all of them. So it was genocide against Jewish people. Hijacking is taking control of a plane, train, or bus, or any public transport by forcing. Usually, this is done for political demands. So it can be political demands or personal demands. I can give you example from my country. In 1991, if I'm not mistaken, there was a group of teenagers, 4 boys and 1 girl, and they hijacked a plane. They wanted to go outside the Soviet Union because they did not like the system of the Soviet Union. And they asked the pilot to take them to a different country, to take them to America, as far as I remember. And then there was very big fight on the plane. And they did not want to kill anyone, but the hijackers killed 2 or 3 people because also the police and the army started fires against them. And since then, there has been a lot of things said and discussed about these boys. There is also a movie, but I don't think that there is English version of the movie available, so I can't recommend to you. Some people say these hijackers were criminals, but other people say that these hijackers were heroes because they were the first people who said no to the political system and who tried to change the political system, and they just wanted freedom. They wanted to set free from the Soviet era. And it is a kind of like critical and crucial event in my country's history and in Soviet Union history, I think. Hooliganism is when somebody behaves violently or aggressive on purpose. Behaving violently or aggressive on purpose. And the person is a hooligan. This is not just a crime, but in some countries and in some cultures we use this word like to describe a child who is very naughty. Okay, we can also say about these kind of children hooligan, like they always try to do something bad, not really stealing and not committing crime, but when they are little kids, they try to maybe hurt other kids. This kind of person is hooligan. Next word that we need to describe today is identity theft. Identity theft is a person who steals another person's identity and another person's information. There is a movie, I think the name of the movie is Identity Theft. And the lady uses another person's ID card, and another person is actually man. So the lady uses a man's ID card, and the man starts losing job, getting fired, and a lot of bad things happens to the man because this woman does bad things on his name or with his name, okay? So using someone else personal information. So if you use another person's information for your good things, this is identity theft. And the person is called identity thief. Kidnapping is stealing child, taking someone, not only child, maybe adult also, taking someone away by force and then asking money for it. An example that I can give you about kidnapping is what happened with Getty's family. Probably you have heard of the oil company Getty, Jean-Paul Getty and etc. And I think Getty third was kidnapped, or Getty second. No, Getty third was kidnapped. And they asked ransom of $3 million, if I remember correctly. The person who commits this kind of crime is kidnapper. The next thing that I will explain to you is manslaughter. Manslaughter is killing someone by accident. So the person did not want to kill another person, but by accident something happened and the person was killed. We can have different understanding about this word. I will give you an example and you can tell me, do you think this is manslaughtering or not manslaughtering? A person saw woman and man fighting on the street, and he decided to help the woman, and while he was helping this woman, he killed the man who was attacking the woman. Do you think this is manslaughtering or no? Is it killing by accident or no? I will explain the situation again. Imagine you are walking on the street and you see a man is attacking woman. You decide to help this woman, and when you are fighting with the man, suddenly you kill this man. Is it manslaughtering or no? Melika thinks this is accident. Ozganur also agrees that this is accidental killing. Nevin, Hilal. It's not always self-defense. For example, this man was not defending himself, but he was defending the other lady. So everybody agrees with this situation that it's manslaughtering. Okay. Yeah, I know that similar situations happened in Turkey, and not only in Turkey, in a lot of countries I have seen similar situations. Now, murder, on the other hand, is killing someone on purpose, not by accident. I think everybody understands this. When I decide to kill someone and I have a plan, and then I kill the person. This is killing on purpose, not by accident. Next word is perjury, and perjury, it means lying in court. So when you're in the court, do you remember they give you the Bible or Quran and you need to swear, I will say the truth and only truth and nothing else other than truth? And if you lie, it is perjury. Pickpocketing. You know pick and you know pocket, so maybe you understand what is the meaning of pickpocketing. Of course, it is stealing wallets or money from people's pockets in crowded places. Pickpocketing usually happens in shopping centers or on the bus, public transport, somewhere where people are in a very crowded place and pickpocketers try to steal your money. Have you ever had this situation, guys? Have you ever been pickpocketed? Let's see your comments. Have you ever been pickpocketed? I don't know how popular it is in Turkey. Nevin has unfortunately been pickpocketed. Ozganur, good for you. I have to accept that in my country we have seen almost all types of crimes, and I can give you example for all of them maybe. Pickpocketing was very normal thing when I was a teenager and kid, let's say. I remember first situation when I saw this pickpocketing. I was with my mom and we were riding a bus going to school, or I don't remember, maybe from school home. I saw someone opening my mother's purse, my mother's bag. I wanted to scream. I opened my mouth, but I could not say a word. My mouth was moving, but there was no word coming from my mouth. I was probably 6 years old. I was first year student. This is one time that I remember. Then other times I have seen a lot of times people trying to steal from my pocket, and I also tried to play with pickpocketers. I always use the same bus to go to school, and I knew the person who was pickpocketer on the bus. So I would wear, for example, in winter some kind of coat, but my money and my wallet was not in the coat pocket, it was inside, maybe in the jumper or in my pants. So when I saw this person coming next to me, I would always try to give my pocket to him so he can play with my pocket very well, but he was very disappointed that there was nothing inside it and he could never take any money from it. Nevin, I'm from Georgia, the Republic of Georgia. Thanks God, I have not seen raping, and I have not had any experience with myself or my friends about raping. Rape is forcing someone to have sex. I know a lot of stories about raping from America, for example. I think it is one of the country where raping is very high rate, and a lot of middle school students are raped. The person who commits this kind of crime is rapist. Next thing that we will learn is riot. Riot is causing a noisy distraction at a public place. Distraction at public place. And the person is rioter. Sometimes, like, these kind of situations can happen at a bank or maybe shopping center or something like that. Özgenur, like rebelling. What do you mean about rebelling? Which word are you asking me? Do you mean about riot or about other one? Now, rebelling, it is not accepting governmental standards and government and politician things. While riot, it is not only about government, it can be about anything else. For example, you start fighting in a cafe or in a bar, this is riot. So the place becomes very noisy and then everybody starts fighting with each other. This will be also considered as riot. I hope you understand the difference between them. The next word that we will discuss is robbery. Probably you understand it. Robbery is stealing large amounts of money with force or violence. And the person who commits this crime is called robber. Sarah has a question. When is the next vocabulary lesson? The next vocabulary lesson is Monday. We have vocabulary lessons from Monday to Friday, always at 12 o'clock for different levels. If you want to see our schedule, you can check on Instagram page and you will see the schedule of the whole week, which days, what kind of lessons we have. Robbery, I think, is the most common and the most popular type of crime in the world. Next one is shoplifting. Shoplifting, maybe you understand with the word the shop. So, stealing something from a shop or store. The person is called shoplifter. Shoplifting is very popular, especially in teenagers, and especially in teenagers. They try to shoplift maybe some alcohol from the stores or sometimes even chewing gum or something like that. I think all of us have done shoplifting. Guys, have you ever shoplifted anything when you were a kid? Maybe chips or something like that. I remember I have taken one time a chewing gum and I did not pay for it. This is my biggest crime of all time, I guess. What about you? Do you have any experience with shoplifting? Let's be honest now. Everyone has done something like this maybe when you were a kid and you could not really understand what it was. Adem has done it. Adem, I have done it maybe 25 years ago. Halil had shoplifted a toy gun, Nevin chocolate. Yeah, for me chewing gum, I remember, and I did not even take the whole package. I just took one chewing gum, which was maybe like 5 cents, not even 5 cents. It was much less than 5 cents. So kids do some kind of mysterious things without thinking about it. The next word that we will explain is slander. Slander is damaging someone's reputation. Duran has also done it. Slander is damaging someone's reputation by speaking lies about them. When people want to do something bad about famous people, they can talk some thing about these famous people. They can say lies about them. So this will be considered as slander, okay? So when you want to damage someone's reputation and you speak lies about that person, it is called slander. And we don't have special word for the person who commits this crime. Next one is smuggling. Smuggling is taking things secretly in or out of the country. Çınar, yes, we broadcast every day live from 12 to 8 p.m. and we have different teachers doing different lessons. As for me, from Monday to Friday, from 12 to 2, the vocabulary lessons are always with me, and at the weekend I do also have some TOEFL lessons. Smuggling is taking things secretly in or out of the place, maybe in or out of the country, or sometimes also in a jail. We can say smuggling. The person is called smuggler. I have also committed this crime a lot of times, I could say, while I'm passing the border from Turkey to Georgia or from Georgia to Turkey. I always try to smuggle some cigarette, because cigarette is very cheap in Georgia and it's very expensive in Turkey, and I always smuggle cigarette or sometimes maybe the alcoholic drinks. But it's only for my personal use, not for selling. If you have ever visited EU countries, European Union countries, people also try to smuggle things from Europe to Turkey as well, or the other way. Yes, Halil, whiskey and sometimes even vodka. Treason is betraying one's country by helping enemies. For example, imagine there is a war between Turkey and Russia, and you give some information about Turkish army to Russia. This is treason, okay? Betraying your country by helping enemies. and the person is called traitor. Trespassing is entering someone's property without permission. The person is called trespasser. For example, someone has a very big house and a very big garden, and you enter the garden. You don't know this person. You don't have any permission from this person. This will be trespassing. Vandalism is the crime, and the person is called vandal. The definition of vandalism is destroying private or public property on purpose. Hello, Kaya. And the last word for this lesson is voyeurism. Voyeurism is watching someone's video, naked video or sexual video secretly. For example, imagine there is a security camera hidden somewhere, and people don't know that there is a security camera in this room. And if they have sex in the room and another person is watching this is called voyeurism, and the person is voyeur. Now guys, let me ask you the question. Which one of these crimes do you think is most serious? Which crime is the most serious? Murder. I totally agree with Soydan. I think vandalism is the most serious because, like, imagine someone does vandalism act in the museum and there is Picasso's painting, and on Picasso's painting you just tear it or you write some things on it or you draw some things on it. There will not be another Picasso in this world and it cannot be done again. I also agree with rape and child abuse. Of course, this is like the worst thing, doing bad things to a child who is underaged. You are so totally correct. So maybe we can say child abuse, rape, and vandalism as the worst things. And probably the least serious is shoplifting or smuggling for me, the least serious. Let's have a break now for 15 minutes, and 15 minutes later I will be back with you. We will do a little test about this vocabulary, what we have learned, and then I will explain some new words as well. See you in 15 minutes.